Look up that word, Ryan. Look up that word before you fall asleep.
Say it correctly.
Hedonism.
What is it?
Hedonism. I think it's just seeking pleasure, constant pleasure.
Hedonism?
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you do to see hedonism?
Well, let me be sure I'm using the right word right now. I hope you're recording all this because this will be funny.
This is like the real behind the scenes.
Yeah, hedonism. Hedonism means seeking pleasure. Hedonism. I don't seek enough pleasure, actually. Yeah, but when we were in Thailand, hedonism. Yeah, the pursuit of pleasure. Sensual self-indulgence.
That was your 5-hour massage.
That was a 5-hour massage. No, I did 2 hours, and then I went back and said, I want another 2 hours.
Amazing. Well, you work bloody hard, so
Yeah.
you need it. Okay,
Yeah.
so hello and welcome to today's episode of Impact School. I am joined with Mr. Grant Cardone himself. Now, I was thinking about how to introduce this podcast episode for a while, and honestly, there's nothing that you haven't done. So I didn't really know.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of stuff I haven't done.
Yeah, best-selling author. How much billion in property?
We have
you invested now?
$1.2 billion worth of real estate right now.
1.2 billion. That is
Yeah.
insane. You have multiple different components to your business, which is so cool. I love that you're not only doing the thing, which is the property investing, but you're also helping others do the same. And honestly, you are one of the people who has shown me what is possible for myself in my life. And I know that that is something which you're massive on. And I was watching your Maldives vlog and I heard, oh, I'm coming to England. And I heard you say, if you want to do an interview, then hit me up. And here we are in England. So welcome to England, to this gorgeous estate that we're at. What brings you here?
So I have an event to do here Saturday, but we
With
need.
Rob
Yeah.
He's been on the podcast.
With Rob. And we just finished a 30-day, I think I'm on the 31st day right now, tour of Rome, Bucharest, Dubai, Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Maldives. And then I added a few days here so that I could get the kids out to the countryside. We've done London, we love London.
Yeah.
And we've done the city mostly every time. So this time I wanted to get a flavor of England.
Yeah, exactly. This is the kind of place that well, not quite this estate, but
Yeah.
this type of area is similar to where I've grown up, and it's amazing. It's
Yeah.
peaceful, and it gives you a place to retreat. So,
We did falconry yesterday with the birds.
oh, you did?
They brought 10 birds out, and it was just, and they gave us the whole history.
Amazing.
Henry VIII, one of your favorite kings here. What a brutal dude, man.
Yeah.
This guy hunted all day. He hunted in the morning and at night with his birds. And he says, when I tell a joke, I never know. Everybody laughs at his jokes, right? Because, if you didn't, he'd kill you. And, but he hunted twice a day because the birds, they don't care that you're a king or that you're rich. They just care, hey, can I go hunt with you? And so he was fascinated with these animals. We got the whole history of it yesterday. And the birds fly and watched them hunt, and it was amazing.
So what's your equivalent to the bird hunting? What do you do?
Deals.
But that's also your business. There must be something which you're sat at home.
No. I would do, like the real estate that I do, we contracted in the last. It's a great question you asked me. And I love what you do, by the way. I follow your stuff, and I like what you're doing to help people. The deals that I do, I would probably do these big deals if there was no money involved.
Okay.
Because they're complicated. There's very sophisticated people involved. So these are we contracted $426 million for the deal in the last 7 or 8 days. So
That's insane.
it's crazy, right? And I'm running my other businesses and doing this whole scene, but these deals, these real estate deals, they're complex, they're complicated, they're a lot of very, very smart people involved. And it's fascinating to me because it's not just like the e-commerce space and the influencer space and which all that's cool and everything, but these are big banks. These are people with massive egos, right? And so they try to push you around. There's a lot of competition. Everybody in the game has money, so you don't have that advantage of like, oh, I have all the money. The guy next to you, he's got more money than me in the deal. And so I have to figure out how to maneuver with very, very intelligent sophisticated negotiator. So it's very fascinating for me.
Okay, so if you were to pick all your personal brand stuff that you're doing, you know, social media and everything, all the deals,
Yeah.
you'd pick the deals.
Oh, well, I mean, I would pick helping people over everything.
Right.
So only because my heart kind of pulls me to help people, because I wanted help when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I didn't have anybody to help me, and it was frustrating. And I have this personal promise that I made years ago that if I ever made it, I would stay revealed, and I would help people. I would show them what I'm doing. So, and that thing pulls at me. It probably costs me, you know, a lot of time and energy because, but it pulls me. It's kind of like a mission. Steve Harvey told me once. He's like, you know, Steve Harvey. He's got this beautiful saying about his career is what pays his bills, but his mission is what pays his heart, or something like that. He says it much better than I do.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Okay, so I want to talk about that kind of in a second. Now, just for anyone who's watching, listening to this right now, who doesn't really know what you mean when you say deals,
Yeah.
would you just be able to just briefly go into that? Because
Yeah,
there's
so,
people who are new.
yeah, so these are, I've always loved real estate. I've loved looking at it, shopping at my dad. You know, I remember my dad at 8 years old on the weekend, on Sunday, he was a stockbroker, but on Sundays we would drive around the town and look at real estate. I was 8 years old. And now I look back and say, he was a stockbroker. Why wasn't he studying stocks on Sunday? You know, because I think that there's a fascination with something real. This family that owned this castle, they've owned it for 1,400 years.
Oh, yeah, it's in the family.
They collect rent from miles and miles away from the houses, and they have for 1,400 years. I mean, it's how you create wealth, right? So they have 5,000 acres here. I don't know if this place makes any money now. It doesn't, you know, I can't imagine what.
It's impressive.
Yeah, it's very impressive. The Queen Elizabeth came here, brought 400 people here. We have all this history lessons now. And she's like, feed us all, and almost bankrupt the place. But the story is that I think her dad had given them the place anyway. So they're like, yeah, feed us. So, you know, the value of real estate is it's something real. People can live there. They can live off the land. And so the deals that I'm doing are massive, big, $80 million, $140 million real estate parcels with not homes like you have here, but what we call apartments, not even what you call apartments.
Flats.
They're flats, but you can't own them, okay? So we own the whole lot.
You own the lease?
We own everything. We own the land, we own the property, and then you come there and you're like, I just want to pay monthly to live on the property, and then you'll sign a 10 or 14 month lease to use that. And if we take care of you, maybe you renew it and sign up for another 14 months, or maybe you leave. But it's a wave in America where young people don't want to own a home the way your parents
Because
did.
of people like you?
They want mobility.
Yeah.
They want mobility, and they want choices. Like, you know, when you pulled up here, were you impressed?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so if I told you that I was renting this place, and it's not mine, I'm just using it for a week, does that somehow diminish my status with you? No, of course not. But if you talk to your parents, the parents, and in England, even more so than America, owning a house is a status.
It is absolutely, and it's interesting because my dad he owns his own estate agency,
Uh-huh.
and he has had like a couple since he was in his 20s. And I'm at a stage now where I want to get into property investing and everything. And he's like, just buy your house first.
Yeah,
buy
yeah.
your house. And I'm like, no. Because I've listened to what you're saying, what Rob's saying.
Mm-hmm.
All of the people who are actually at the top of the game when it comes to real estate. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm by no means saying that my dad hasn't done well for himself. He absolutely has.
Yeah. In case he hears this, Dad.
Yeah, no, he will, because I've actually introduced. He comes in my videos and he's hilarious on video and stuff. He's consumed your content and he thinks you're brilliant. And yeah, I mean, it is definitely an old-fashioned mindset, and I think that's a big thing, especially the UK mindset versus the US mindset. I feel like American people are willing to invest in themselves, invest in their business, take risks, take massive action. Whereas the UK is so far behind. I don't know what you think.
I don't know that you're so far behind. I think that the class thing here is, you know, class is accepted here, and in America, it's there's an illusion in America. There's a little bit of a trick, I think, on both people. And we were in Thailand, and you know, they're tricked there too. They're like, I can't leave here. You know, they have almost zero unemployment in Thailand, and even if you're unemployed, you just go to the ocean and you fish and you catch your food and you can eat. So you don't really have to work, right?
Right,
you just feed your family. So, but they get paid like $2 an hour there. So it's all kind of relevant, right? In America, people are stuck there because they're like, I have 2 cars, my kids are getting a good school, I own a home. It's just another form of trickery. Here in London, particularly right now with the Brexit thing going on and everything, you guys have so many excuses built in for people to be like, oh, I can't do it right now because of Brexit. I need to wait until that happens. Or I can't own a home now because they're too expensive. And then back to what your dad, that was just the vehicle. The only vehicle for your dad back then was, I'm going to buy a house. I'm going to pay it off over the next 30 years. And then one day we have something when I'm too old to enjoy anything. I had a guy here yesterday. He's got a $5 million pound house paid for. And he's like, Grant, what should I do? I said, dude, you that's dead money. You should not have money dead like that. It's not paying you. All your investments should pay you. Until you're so rich, you're like, okay, I have an investment now that doesn't pay me. It doesn't matter. But where we're at right now in the food chain, we should, and Americans are waking up to this right now. Money needs to make money, and because it doesn't make it at the bank, and your dad's money's not making money anymore. And even some businesses, like I'll pour more money into real estate this year than I will my own business, my primary businesses that have put me in a position to buy the real estate. So like we spent $10 million on that event you went to last year. We made probably 50% on our money, maybe 60% on our money, which is a massive return, right? But I would rather have a 6 or 8 or 10% return in a real estate deal that I own for 30 years than have a 60% return in 1 year, and I have to do it again. With this real estate, when we buy this stuff, we're getting 6 and 8% every year, and then 3 and 4 times our money when we go to sell it. So it's a way to create massive wealth, and it's a fun game.
Yeah, exactly. I love that you say that it's a fun game because honestly, that's kind of how I see everything I do. I've said this to people before and they haven't really understood it, but I feel like you...
It's a game.
Yeah, everything. Yeah, it's like a little jigsaw puzzle. And it's like,
totally.
It's always trying to get to the next level. That's
I saw your whiteboard thing. Why couldn't you figure that out?
I became attached to an idea inside my business. Because I started out in the fitness industry. I know you were saying that you've been training, going to the gym, making gains.
Yeah.
And so I have a lot of people who are watching this right now, who are listening, who are in the fitness space. And so I knew that if I could serve them to the best degree possible, I should be helping them build an online fitness coaching business, because that's what I did. And I realized that in order to just literally simplify my sales funnel, basically, I just make it so that it's to help anyone build an online coaching business.
Right.
That was it. That was all I changed, and literally
solve the problem.
Since then, I checked my little percentage thing yesterday. This month, in the past 6 days, my business has gone up by 278%. It was something like that, which is insane. Just from that one small change.
Yeah.
And so I feel like clarity like that, it takes a while to be able to be confident enough in yourself, in your business, everything that you're doing, to be able to make a decision like that, because there is obviously going to be potential downside.
Yeah, sure.
And so something that I really wanted to talk to you about on this podcast here today is you are committed to helping people realize that they can achieve big things in their life. Because I feel like, especially nowadays, people don't know what's possible for them. They really don't. And so when I know that you had a drug addiction when you were my age, how did you firstly realize that you were the type of person who could actually make big things happen in your life?
I always thought that I could do something. I think everybody thinks.
Do you think everyone does though?
Yeah, I think everybody does. I think every person thinks that they're special.
But do you think
if they would be really honest and not I think that they have the thought, and then they're like, I can't tell anybody that.
Because they're worried people will judge them.
Well, they will judge them.
Yeah.
They will judge them. Like your parents will tell you you're special until you start acting like you're special, and then they want to medicate you. So like, oh, you're so special, you know. He's so special, right? And then special becomes a problem. Somewhere between, I don't know, 8 years old and 15, special takes on a different meaning than if you're 24 months old. And then it becomes a problem for the adults, right? So I think everyone is special. I think if everybody got really quiet and anything, you could say anything, everybody would be like, yeah, dude, I got this special little thing. I got this superpower. I got this, this thing. And then what happens is it gets squelched. For me, I squelched it so hard. I suppressed it and pushed it down so hard. Because I was told to. Like, it was not... my surroundings did not like me exhibiting my special, right? So because I was awkward with special. Right? In the beginning, you don't know how to use it. Yeah. So for me, I've always been very rough. I was in Dubai, and this lady says, "Oh my God, I love meeting this guy." I saw her write an article about me. I love meeting this guy. He's a bit rough. And I've always been that. I've always been very kind of, the edges are jagged.
Do you think there's a reason for that?
Because I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to figure it out and still be me without suppressing who I am, right? So I'm trying to, I'm very playful. I'm immature. I love pranks. I like having fun more than I like anything. Like, I want to have fun, but I want the fun. But then I become very serious when it's time to work. So I go from this very playful person to this extremely intense,
hardworking.
It can happen in a micro of a second.
Yeah.
That we could be, screwing around doing something dumb to, okay, now we're in a deal. And the phone's on, and I'm in the deal now.
Do you think that adaptability has helped you get to where you are?
Yeah, I think it's helped me and hurt me though, because it's very confusing for people, even people very close to me.
I get it. Yeah.
So I remember, it reminds me of a time when Elena and I, my wife, she bought something. I forget what it was. I said, "How much was that?" And she's like, "I don't know." I said, "Find out how much it was. You got to know what things cost," because that bothered me. Like I don't know. And then she told me, I'm like, "Elena, that was ridiculous. We didn't need it. It's I could have got a better deal, blah, blah, blah." It was no money. I don't know. It was $500 or something. Literally 3 minutes later, I was negotiating a deal and bought it for $62 million or something ridiculous. So I went from being micromanaging, probably incorrectly, over $500 to spending $60 million. And it was confusing for her. It's confusing for the people around you. When you're making decisions like on your whiteboard saying, "You know what, I'm going to throw away my main business and I'm going to go for this other business." It scares people when you start changing.
I also think that you are obviously an entrepreneur at heart, and so for you doing something like that, it's a risk. It's like it's your mindset. It's how you work. It's how you.
Yeah, but you don't know what I'm feeling while I'm doing it either. Right?
Yeah,
nobody knows. Nobody knows how I'm feeling. Like they're like, "Oh, dude, it's so easy for you." Nobody knows what I'm going through.
So
right?
What are you going through?
I'm going probably through the same things you are, right? I'm like, am I right? Oh man, I hope this is right. I hope I did the right thing. I hope I'm not getting ahead of myself. I hope I'm not getting over my skis here. I hope I didn't pay too much. When we did the growth conference and we had, committed to 35,000 people for 365 days, I worried that nobody was going to show up. Even after I had evidence that we sold 35,000 seats. Like, I had the evidence in my hand. I saw the money go into the bank. I looked at it like every day for 300 days and said, "Hey, are we sure we bought these tickets?" "Grant, we've audited every seat purchase." Thursday night, the night of the event, the night before the event, I was still worried that Friday morning nobody was going to show up. So I go through the same. If other people are experiencing that, then I'm going through the same stuff everybody else is experiencing.
Absolutely. No, I think that people see people on social media, no matter how successful they are, they see others on social media and they just think that for some reason, because they put themselves out there, they don't feel. Yeah. They literally don't feel. So how do you actually help people realize that because what your message really is helping people realize what's possible for them right now. That's how, when I think about your content, that's what I see you doing. Obviously, you've helped me massively when it comes to sales. So has Jared, and I went on his wife's podcast a couple of weeks ago, which was awesome.
Yeah.
That he's great and at educating and everything. But I really would love to know, why do you think people are able to listen to you and your story and feel like they can do it too? Because
I hope people do feel like that, right?
I do. I really do.
Yeah.
I truly, like, deep down, I really do. So thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
But a lot of people, they see people on social media and they just think they're so robust. That's why they're so nasty.
Well, yeah, it's so robust.
Basically they think that you're like hardcore. You can't be teared down. That you don't have feelings.
Yeah, well, I do have feelings, but I just a little tidbit. I disregard my feelings. Like my feelings, feelings are overrated in our society. Like,
you literally sound like me.
they're going to mislead you. They're not. I got to follow my gut. No, I don't even know what you're talking about. Most people don't even know where their gut is. Your gut is it's a stomach. It's called a stomach. Okay, it's not designed to lead you. It's designed to digest food. So I follow the data, right? And my emotions, fear would keep me from doing. Fear has kept me from doing. I should be a billionaire 8 or 9 times right now.
What is it stop you from doing?
Fear kept me from doing the deals I'm doing today. Fear kept me from doing 20 years ago.
So what were you actually afraid of?
I was afraid. I lacked confidence in the data. I didn't trust the data. I have known for years this little space that I'm in. It's so many different places, but particularly in the real estate, I've known for years that there was going to be a massive shift in America, particularly, and maybe around the world, to where people will no longer buy homes and they will lease where they live, and they will move around the country. Their mobility would become a big thing. And I knew that, but I should have put every penny. I should have borrowed more money. I should own 40,000 units now, not 7,000. So maybe 70,000. I could be one of the biggest landowners in America today had I followed my data, my instincts that was backed by data, rather than my feelings and listening to the numbnuts around me that are like, don't do it, don't take the risk, you don't need to, you already have enough. All you're going to do is like all that input from other people. I bought a plane maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and I've taken a bunch of heat about the plane because people are like, oh, he's showing off his plane. Look, if you had a jet, you would show it off too. And if you didn't show it to people, shame on you. Like, it's inspiration for most people, not envy. Right. For most people, they're like, dude, that inspires me. Mark Wright was here yesterday. He was on, Mark?
What show was he on?
He was on Apprentice. He was the apprentice with Lord Sugar.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So he flew with me from Cardiff to London last year. I put him on the plane. He says, Grant, you ruined my whole life putting me on that plane. I can't think, like, every time I get on a plane now, I'm like, oh my God, I need to fly private. It is a ruiner. And this is what, like, if I inspire people to think bigger, that is one of my goals, because that has been the big ruin of my life, that I didn't think big enough the whole time. The single biggest regret I have in my life, I played it small for at least 35 years. Influenced by society, education, friends, even friends with good intentions, family members that love me, they're the wrong people to let the falconry I did yesterday, the one of these birds, the peregrine something, moves at 200 miles an hour, makes an aerial strike, kills on contact. It's like, wow, man. It only does 3 things in its life. It either kills you, gets killed by you, or has sex with you.
Simple.
What a life.
Yeah. So something you just touched upon there is that it was the people around you. You were saying you don't need more.
Don't fly that fast.
You're already successful enough.
Yeah.
You don't need anything more.
Look, they were telling me that when I had nothing. They were telling me that when I was making $50,000 a year. You have enough, man. Be grateful for what you have. Look, my mom used to tell me, you got heat, you got everything you need. You got a refrigerator with food, but that's not that. My mom didn't understand. Mom, I have dreams. If my dreams were an empty refrigerator or a refrigerator, it was empty. But it was there. It was there. It was meant for me to fill it up with something. And all she could see, because of the way she grew up out of poverty. All she could see was, hey, you got your health. We've all heard this. These are international concepts, by the way. Hey, you got your health, and you got family, and if you have food, and if you have heat, you should be grateful.
Yeah, I mean, you need those things first, and then you can think more. You can think bigger.
Yeah. And
then, so when is enough for you?
I get asked that all the time. When's enough
Never.
enough? I think the reason people ask that question is they don't understand the potentiality of the individual. The special. It stretches.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
stretches.
a game, like what we were just saying.
Yeah, totally.
I don't know if we were filming when we said that, but I honestly believe that it's like literally when you're playing FIFA or whatever they play, you get to that's probably the worst example. Like you're playing Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And you complete the level, so like it's move on to the next one.
You want the next challenge.
You get a taste of what's possible.
Yeah.
And you can see that. So I feel like what people need, if right now they're feeling lost, they're feeling hopeless, they feel like how you felt when you were 25, when you had a drug addiction, they just need to get a bit of momentum.
Yeah.
To actually push them forward. So how can people actually get that momentum to actually start moving towards something?
I would suggest that people not try to go do this on their own, like so many people are suggesting. Like, the popular thing is, be an entrepreneur and do it on your own and be a solopreneur.
And I fell victim to that for a long time, by the way. And then when I started bringing on a team and actually like investing into my business, that's when everything exploded.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah.
Literally overnight.
I would just tell people that like find someone that is already moving down the road. It's called drafting in motorsports. So I can be in second place and actually expend less energy and go just as fast.
Yeah.
And then have, like Ron Secco, the guy you met today, he works with me. He quit a job as a pilot to come work for me. He went from making $125,000 a year, had his little pilot wings, people, yes sir, captain. He's the youngest captain in the United States to fly a plane. Quit that job, had health care. He didn't go work for himself. He came to work for another guy. He took a pay cut. Did not know what it would be. He got with me because he's like, this guy's going places. This guy's taking risks. He's got the money. He's got the resources. He's got momentum. I'm going to get on the bus, the coattails, and I'm going to go for a ride. And so that's what I would tell people, man. Find somebody, not a company. Find a person that has energy, resources, courage, that is on the move. Because just because they did it, years ago might not mean they want to do it today. Mark Cuban from the Shark Tank, he's not interested in growing anything. He's like, I'm just not, he doesn't have the game. It's not his desire. So you got to find somebody that wants to play the game again at another level.
Yeah.
And I would go work with those people and go for the ride.
Yeah. And then
in exchange, give them more than you want from them and watch what happens.
Yeah. It's really powerful finding someone who's in a position where you can see yourself and where you'd love to go, and honestly just molding what they've done.
Yeah.
Seeing how they've played their game, because they've obviously done something right. And I feel like people see these people and they think, I can't do that because of this or because of that, and they only got there because they were lucky. What do you think about luck?
I don't know anything about it because I hadn't had any. I mean, the only luck I've had is bad luck. So I've just never been that guy. I know people that get lucky. They go to the casino, they make a bet on black and they win. And they ask for a blackjack and they get it. It's just not mine. I've never been that guy. Everything for me has been a lot of effort, which I overplayed the effort thing. You shouldn't have. If you're in the right vehicle at the right time, you shouldn't have to.
Grind.
You should not have to grind.
Yeah.
You need to work hard, but at some point you need to figure out how this thing should start going. Today we're in a position today where I could be on the road. I could literally travel the world now and just go from island to island to island
Which you're doing.
For 300 days of the year, and most of my businesses would not be affected negatively.
Right, because you've set up all the systems and everything, which
Yeah.
is so important.
Yeah.
Obviously, at the beginning stages, people don't necessarily think about that. But I personally believe if you set the systems up now,
Yeah,
one time, they're done.
yeah,
Obviously, you're going to have to bring on team members as time goes on. But early stages, you know, you got to get these things right. It's like you always say, you know, get your money right.
yeah.
When you
yeah.
say this-
Money is a system, you know.
Right. Yeah, it absolutely is. And one thing which you said, which I love, is that money has no value until you use it. Because I actually want to ask you about your money mindset in a bit, because I heard you just say where Elena bought something for $500 and then you were doing like a $62 million deal or something. So do you think you've always been someone who's been like pretty frugal when it comes to money, and you feel like you, because I'll explain why I'm asking this. I find it very hard to spend money, you know, and I feel like this is a very British thing, very, very British. We go out shopping and we're just like looking at the price tag the whole time, even if you have enough money to afford it easily.
Yeah.
Like if I go into a shop and I see something's like, I don't know, £200, I'm like, ooh, like I'm not gonna buy it, and I never buy anything nice for myself ever. Like my clothes, like I'm in a fortunate position where I have brands sending me stuff, and so for me,
I need some stuff. Guys.
It's pretty
Please
cool.
Send me something.
I'm sure they will. Like, but it's just kind of it's an interesting one for me. So what is your
So
thoughts on that?
this is what I discovered. I thought I had been called frugal, extremely conservative around money. So don't look at the jet and the trips and all that stuff that you see today, because what nobody sees is they don't see the 35 years. They just see, oh, guy went and bought a brand new jet, right?
The whole overnight success story.
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. You see the watch I bought, right? But you don't see that I didn't buy a watch, and I flew commercial for 3 million miles for 30 years, and then I sat in the back of the plane, and then I saved my money. You don't see the whole. Nobody sees that, right? They should ask that question about the money. Nobody in these interviews, almost nobody asks about money ever. Like the money
I love
thing.
talking about money.
The money, yeah, the money thing almost never gets hit. You know, so the frugal. I thought I was frugal. I thought I was a mooch. I thought I was cheap. I was told all these things because,
Tight.
in reality,
Yeah.
tight. You know, I could squeeze an eagle off the quarter. People. I'd go look at a $200. I still look at the prices of this stuff. I think it's important to know what the price of something is. I would look at the price of something, and I was not cheap. I was misidentifying what the problem was. The problem for you, when you look at it, what you're getting is, can I reproduce that 200 pounds?
Right.
And you're not sure yet. So you're not sure. When you get sure, you'll be like, yeah, I'll take that. I'll take $5 million. And that is the key. The key is to get so confident in your ability to reproduce money. Now, this complicates the issue because if you're in the e-commerce space, you're in a space that literally was just created overnight. Like it didn't even exist, 10 years ago, and got hot here only in the last probably 28 months or so. So you have the data. You have data that says, wait a minute, this space didn't exist, which only means it might not exist in the future, right? It could go away as fast as it came. So you have it on guard. Those birds I was with yesterday, they think everybody wants to eat them. Like they don't trust anybody. They don't trust their owner. They trust no one. And that's a good thing to have. So that when you look at it, you're like, hey, is this business going to be here? Is this business going to work? Is new money going to come in? Do I have the systems in place? Do I trust my people? Do I trust myself? This all changed for me with this real estate stuff. So I have 13 little businesses and then the real estate. The real estate is the one that can't be stopped. There's nothing on planet Earth, short of North Korea going nuclear, nothing will stop the income that's produced by that. When you have that coming in, and I'm willing to work hard every day like you are, but I have this machine going over here, 6,000 apartments, 7,000 apartments, 8,000, 10,000, paying me every month, a couple $100. Then I'm like, ooh, let's go on the trip.
Yeah.
Okay, who cares what jet fuel costs? Because I got a machine going over here. And that should be the game for everybody. Do great at this, the earned income. that the Queen taxes so heavily. And then go over there and find this passive income that will pay you regardless of how talented you are, how smart you are, how well the video does, or how well the pop product release does. Get that passive income to be more than the earned income.
That's amazing. So you keep them separate.
Oh, they're definitely separate.
And then,
all of them are separate.
And then
so,
all the money you actually spend, like...
my money and my wife's money is separate.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Why?
Because it should be separate.
Yeah, I mean, I can say I agree. So
Yeah. I mean, because if it's not separate, then everybody gets confused about who's doing what with money.
Right. I
Yeah.
get it. It makes sense. And so then the money which you earn from your passive income, your properties, that's what then you use to spend on things like this.
This is what pays for the dumb stuff.
Get it. It makes perfect sense. Amazing.
Yeah. Like, but still today, I don't have an Hermes belt. I have a nice watch. I love my watches, but you know, the money thing is so important because without it, you're not going to have true freedom. You can't do what you want if you don't have money.
Right.
And surpluses of it.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. That's why I love to speak about it, because this podcast is honestly all about giving people the tools, the resources, the strategies that they need in order to create freedom and fulfillment in their lives. Because I think right now I have a very similar belief to you. I feel like people are honestly getting brainwashed into
without a doubt.
going to school, going to university. I dropped out of supposedly the UK's #1 business degree,
Yeah, good for
where
you.
they were teaching me nothing
Right.
about how to run my own business.
Right.
And so I realized that what I was doing on the side as my side hustle
Yeah.
was giving me so much more than what I was supposed to be learning because of society's depiction of that. And so, yeah, I mean, I was very fortunate enough to realize it so young. When I was 19, I also was working at an asset management firm. And so I guess just to wrap this whole entire thing up, someone my age, you're looking at me right now, I've obviously achieved
How old are you?
I'm 22.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so I've achieved, like, compared to other people my age, people say to me, oh my god, you're only 22. What would you tell someone like me who has already had a bit of a taste of it?
Yeah.
Who really wants more? Who wants
Don't listen to those people that are like, oh, you've done so much. You know,
For
like
sure.
pour it on. You're ambitious. Be ambitious. You know, be super ambitious, and you have a tremendous advantage if you just stay. Don't be satisfied. Like, keep reaching, and anybody that tells you be happy with where you are, you should be disgusted, like wanting to throw up all the time about your where you are right now, and dissatisfied with it to the point to where you're like, man, I am not happy. Because once you hit that vein, once you hit the true potential of you, and you're rolling, it's not going to be a handful of people talking about you. You know, it's going to be millions of people talking about you, and in those millions, hundreds of millions of people could be talking about you. You could inspire a lot of people. Forget what you're going to do for your own life and your own freedom. You're going to give people hope. People need examples, and you would be an excellent one.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Grant, thank you so much for coming on Impact School today. That was an incredible...
Yeah, we'll do it again next time I'm in town.
Absolutely. No, thank you so much. It was an honor, and everyone, you've got to go check out Grant's stuff. Just everything. My favorite of yours is, obviously because I'm young, I love what you and Jared do on Young Hustlers. That is such a cool podcast.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of Impact School. By the way, next week's episode is going to be with Grant's wife, Elena. It's actually an episode that I recorded a few months ago, and here's a little snippet of what we spoke about.
This is just a pat on the shoulder, well done, as compared to where we want to go and who we want to touch on the world. So at least I've gotten to the point now in our lives where enough people could look at us and say, wow, they're successful. How did they do it? And so having been the person back here to the person where I am now, I didn't have a woman kind of behind the scenes.
So make sure you have hit subscribe, whether you're watching this on YouTube, whether you're listening to this on a podcast app. You can catch Impact School, this podcast that you're listening to right now, on the iTunes podcast app, which comes automatically downloaded on your iPhone. If you're on Android, you can listen on Stitcher, and you can even listen on Spotify as well. So make sure you've subscribed, make sure to tune in, and I look forward to seeing you next week when you are going to get to hear the interview with Elena Cardone all about building an empire. My name is Lauren Tickner, and if you are ready to finally start building your online business, then you know where to come. I'm your girl. I will help you create a scalable online coaching business through my programs. My first program is called Impact Your Online Business. It is an 8-week-long program designed to help you start your online coaching business. And then if you already have an online coaching business, but you're looking to scale, then you can get involved with the Impact Incubator. That is a 12-week program that really is designed to help you create a one-to-many coaching model so that you can also sell one-to-many, so that you can scale and stop being a slave to your business. So if you're ready, then I have left a link for you, which you will get directed to my Facebook Messenger, and there's going to be a kind of little quiz thing that will help you figure out which of my programs is going to be best for you, so that we can get started. We can jump on a phone call and we can get you enrolled, only if you're ready. I only jump on the phone with people who are seriously ready about this, and if they are, definitely going to be a good fit. So you can just get that. It is going to be linked in the show notes or the description box. So thank you so much for tuning in today. I'll catch you over on Instagram, and on next week's episode, I'm at Lauren Tickner, LaurenTickner. I look forward to helping you scale your own online business and your personal brand. And you can get that quiz if you, in your browser, get your capital letters on and type in bit.ly/impact quiz. It will only work if you do everything in caps lock. So bit.ly/IMPACTQUIZ, or Z if you're English, right? And say it the right way. But yeah, it's bit.ly/impact quiz. And there you can see which program of mine is going to be the best for you.